Midas resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold. Call 1-800-686-2237 for the report the Fed hopes you'll never see. As Good as Gold can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. If you have ever thought about owning gold, you must read this report. Call Midas today at 800-686-2237.
In the New World Order's war against humanity, Barack Obama is the tip of the spear.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
The Obama deception completely destroys the myth that Obama is working for the best interest of the American people.
Well, Obama's already fudging. He's fudged since day one in this election.
If you have a demagogue with a fanatical mass movement of personality cultists who is imposing the program of a group of extreme bankers and finance oligarchs, that's fascism.
It's not about left or right. It's about a one-world government. This film documents who Obama works for, the lies he has told, and his real agenda. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com or download it in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. The Obama Deception. The people strike back.
Are you concerned about the current strain of influenza spreading across the U.S.? At the rate this new virus is spreading, it's not a matter of if, but when it will affect each and every American. This virus is comprised of extracted DNA from the Spanish flu and has combined itself with the bird and swine flu, making it very contagious and deadly. The Center for Disease Control has made it clear that there are no vaccinations available to treat this new threat. What can you do to help protect your family? You need to visit WholeCure.com. WholeCure.com has flu survival packages starting at $24.95. These flu survival packages include everything necessary to help fight the flu and last up to 2 years of continuous use. The supplement functions as an immune system booster and is meant to rapidly improve your health to the point of overcoming the flu. Call 1-866-644-1933. That's 1-866-644-1933. Or visit WholeCure.com. That's WHOLE Cure.com. WholeCure.com today.
Walter E. Williams is our guest. We had a bizarre power outage here in the studio. We're on backup, and we'll see if we can stay on the air here together. Mr. Williams, continuing, GM, the trillions to the banks, and the government's now saying they're just going to expand and intensify all of this. Are they going to just continue to dump money on this until they completely destroy us, or how do you see this unfolding?
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of things that they're doing is unsustainable, but I think that the whole idea about Detroit and GM and other companies going bankrupt, I think that people don't quite understand what bankruptcy means. If they did, I don't think they would let government get away with what they're doing. That is, it's almost when you hear people talk, if an airline goes bankrupt or if an auto company goes bankrupt, people talk as if the company, the productive assets are going to go poof and disappear into thin air. Like if an airline went bankrupt, the airline's going to go poof and disappear into thin air, or the assembly line in Detroit will go poof. No, what bankruptcy means is that there's a change in the title to those assets. Somebody else will own those assets if it ultimately goes bankrupt, but there's an intermediate step. They can go to Chapter 11 first. But the point is that when government bails out companies, they're telling them, keep on doing what you're doing. See, the important thing about a market system is that business failure is just as critical to the operation of the market system as business success. That is, business success says you're doing the right thing, you're pleasing your customers, and you're doing it in a reasonable way. Excuse me. Business failure means that you're not pleasing your customers or you're doing it in an inefficient way. You're wasting resources of the society. Now, when government steps in to bail out a failing business, it in effect says, continue wasting the resources of society. Here's the money. Americans won't buy your damn cars, so here's some money. We'll take some money from the Americans and give it to you.
Well, Mr. Williams, expanding on that, the media keeps confusing this and saying capitalism failed. Now we've got to have socialism with the cover of Newsweek. That's a grand deception. I've noticed they've been parroting as a talking point. This isn't free market that did this. This was the state merging with some type of crony, insider corruption. What do you call that? How do you boil that down and explain this as a bait and switch?
People call it crony capitalism, and that is, just give you one example. We had this with the housing market, that we had this Community Reinvestment Act that intimidated banks into making loans that they otherwise would not have made. Now, banks would not lend people to buy a house, to buy a $200,000, $500,000 house with no money down. It required that government intimidate banks to do that. That's not capitalism. Under a free market system, a banker would not do that. He will do it when the government says, we want you to do it, unless we're not going to give you a merger. And then plus, if we had this Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to buy the rotten paper that you sell. And so it's not capitalism at all. It's socialism that has failed, but the news media and politicians are doing a bait and switch. They're deceiving the American people.
Well, Mr. Williams, in the few minutes we have left with you, what is your solution? How do we get out of this? Just educate the public that it's a fraud? Because there are all these corrupt corporate interests that are not free market, that are some of the biggest corporations in the world, and they've made an alliance with corrupt government, and then with the dumbed-down kind of howling mob, as John Adams would call it. I mean, how do we deal with this?
I'm not sure. I think that we can't deal with politicians. They're hopeless in terms of respect for the Constitution. What we have to do, and I think that talk radio has been very, very important on a number of the blogs have been we have to somehow sell the American people on the moral superiority of individual liberty, which means limited government. We have to sell the American people on individual responsibility. We have to sell the American people that Americans are very generous, and we have to tell people that, look, helping your fellow man in need is praiseworthy and laudable when you reach into your own pockets to help them out. When you reach into somebody else's pockets to help your fellow man in need, that is worthy of condemnation, and it's despicable. And for the Christians among us, we should recognize that when God gave Moses the commandment, thou shalt not steal, he did not mean thou shalt not steal unless you got a majority vote in Congress. And moreover, if you ask God, well, is it okay to be a recipient of stolen property, he would probably consider that a sin as well. That is, the big problems that we face in our society right now are moral problems.
And the big question is, when does the stealing end? The big question is, I mean, if you accept any of this theft, then the sky's the limit. WalterEWilliams.com. Thank you so much for spending time with us, sir.
Thank you for inviting me.
Take care. Have a great week coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back live. They've turned off the power in this end of Austin. We're on backup power. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we can go to the press conference downtown.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Millions of Americans are beginning to realize the enormity of the economic and political problems facing the U.S. and the world. And for the first time in their lives, they are feeling the need for preparedness. Ready Reserve Foods has been in continuous operation, manufacturing the finest in dehydrated foods for almost 40 years. Ready Reserve is the manufacturer. Unlike other companies that just broker canned foods, Ready Reserve controls the quality from start to finish with double enameled cans and nitrogen packaging. When purchasing from Ready Reserve Foods, you are buying factory direct at wholesale prices. Other companies are quoting delivery times of 1 to 2 months, while Ready Reserve ships within 5 business days. Many companies do not even offer a catalog. We will be more than happy to send a catalog to you free of charge. Dial 1-800-453-2202, 1-800-453-2202, or visit our website at ReadyReserveFoods.com. Factory direct, wholesale pricing from Ready Reserve Foods. Call us at 1-800-453-2202.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
In the near future, Earth is dominated by a powerful world government.
It's known as the Bilderberg Group. Could their objective be world domination?
For thousands of years, their dark order grew. Now, as they hail the birth of the New World Order, their great dream of exterminating 80% of humanity is at hand. For the first time in history, the elite's plan for world government is blown wide open. You will learn the secret that drives the entire New World Order agenda.
Bilderberg is making great progress toward a world government. Most people have no idea. They're not after money. They have all the money they need. They're after power. That's their aphrodisiac.
Order In-Game on DVD at prisonplanet.com or Infowars.com, or watch it online right now at prisonplanet.tv. In-Game, blueprint for global enslavement. You have been warned.
Attention, an important product from hempusa.org, microplant powder, will change your life by removing all types of positive toxins, such as heavy metals, parasites, bacteria, viruses, and fungus from the digestive tract and stomach wall so you can absorb nutrients. Microplant powder